Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be analyzing four cryptocurrencies, which are Ethereum, Bitcoin, BitTorrent and ANKR. We will see where they might move over the next weeks. Please subscribe to our channel if you want us to keep releasing technical analysis for free, while to receive our real-time alerts on stocks, cryptos and forex, then you can join our growing community on Patreon. You will find the link in the description field. Let's start with Ethereum against the US dollar on a weekly basis. As you can see here, been plotting a major cycle and inside two minor cycles. In April 2021, I've been writing a post on TradingView where I've been advising, where I've been suggesting to buy in mid-June, sorry, it was 2020, in mid-June, Ethereum, because the reason was I saw that both the two cycles were in the ascending phase. So I've been studying, analyzing Ethereum and trying to find the minor and major cycles which actually are underlying the asset, and I realized that both the two cycles were in their ascending phase in mid-June. Okay, and what happened is that that was a great and amazing call, because Ethereum started exactly in June, as you can see here. Here we have May, September, so exactly in June, when Ethereum was worth $200, and then it happened that we have experienced a huge run-up till $2,000. Okay, so what we should be expecting over the next weeks and months. As you can see here, in this case the minor cycle was in the ascending phase, and then we have experienced a huge movement down for Ethereum till $1,200. So that was another great call. Now what we see here is that the minor cycle is in the ascending phase, while the major cycle is starting the descending one. Obviously, in terms of relative strength, the major cycle has a power which is much higher when compared with the minor cycle. So what is going to happen next? Ethereum is going to move either horizontally or slightly up for the next weeks, yet in summer we are going to experience Ethereum tumbling down towards a relative low. Okay, not an absolute low, obviously, but a relative low. So when Ethereum will be again a great buy, it will be actually when we will see both the two cycles in their ascending phase, which means in October, November. Okay, when so summer and late summer will be a strong descending phase, because we see that both the two cycles will be in their ascending phase. So that will happen in late summer. Okay, when both the two curves will be, so the minor cycle, the major cycle will be in the ascending phase. It will be in late summer. Okay, so at the end of the summer, at the beginning of autumn, then in October, November, we will see both the ascending cycle in their ascending phase. Okay, which means we are going to experience Ethereum going up. So for the next weeks, Ethereum will be moving horizontally or slightly up till the summer. Let's say that late summer will be the momentum when we will be experiencing Ethereum going down. Okay, so the current bull trend is going to last for other few weeks, let's say 2-3 months, and then we will see the end of the current bull trend for Ethereum. And late summer, definitely we are going to experience a strong tumbling down for Ethereum. Okay, now let's move on and let's analyze Bitcoin. For Bitcoin, what we see here is actually a weekly chart. We see the naked price enveloped inside the triangular moving averages, which are containing the 95% of the data. This is an important factor that we're going to examine right now, while beneath we see two cycles, the Magnus cycles and another kind of cycles, where I've changed the parameters in order to get rid of the noise. Okay, so we don't want to analyze the very small movements, while we want to understand the underlying trend and the underlying cycle for Bitcoin. Let's also remind that the cycles and trends are two completely different things. Okay, for Ethereum we have analyzed the cycles but not the trend. The trend is up. That's why I've called it a relative low at the end of summer, beginning of autumn, and not obviously an absolute low. Okay, so what we see here in terms of pricing for Bitcoin against the US dollar is that right now Bitcoin is worth 52,060 600 US dollar, okay, but the most important thing that we see here is that the price is outside the upper band, which means we're going to retest at least this area, okay, so 30,000 US dollar over the next month, okay. Even in this case, I do predict that this is going to happen in late summer, beginning of autumn, okay. So and right now, what happened if we analyze the previous bull trend is that the price has been moving above the upper band, but obviously then what happens that after this movement we have seen a strong rebound till hitting the lower band. For Bitcoin, I've been calling actually all the movements since 2019. My patrons are aware of my calls. So what is happening right now? If we analyze the two cycles, we see that the red curve is still above the azure one, which means the cycle is still in the ascending phase, while here we have seen, okay, the descending phase of the cycle. Same for the magnitude cycle. So when we analyze the derivative, the two curves are the two derivatives are positive, which means above the zero, okay. So when we will experience a bearish trend, actually we will know when the white curve in this case will be crossing the orange one, okay. Obviously this not we are not here, so definitely we are not in a bearish trend right now. We are still in the bullish trend. So this is a question that I received several times. Until we will not see the two cycles reverting their curves, or in other words, until we will see the derivative of the curves negative, so below the zero, we cannot definitely say that we are inside the bearish momentum. Yet, if we analyze the cycles and we analyze the symmetry of the cycles, even if I've been explaining several times that the cycles cannot be the same exactly like two waves in terms of amplitude, which is the amplitude is this one, or in terms of length, more importantly, which is actually the distance between 2 points of lows. Okay, so what we see here in terms of ascending phase, that as I've been saying before, the ascending phase is always uh, last more than the descending one. So in a cycle, we will not see 50% of movement up and 50% of movement down, but always something like 60 and 40 or 70 and 30. Okay, so right now, what we see here is that the current bull trend starting in June 19. Okay, so in June 2021, we will have 2 years of bull trend. This is an extremely important factor to underline. 2 years of bull trend was actually what we have experienced in the previous bull run up. So the bull run up started here in December 15, and actually it was closed in December 17, so exactly 2 years. Now the new bull trend started in July 19, which means if the current cycle will be equal to the previous one, we should be projecting the current cycle lasting till July 2021, okay? Exactly as I said for Ethereum. So we are going to see in this case Bitcoin moving up or horizontally for the next month till June, July. Okay, in June, July we will need to reevaluate the current scenario for Bitcoin in order to understand where Bitcoin is going to move and if we are going to experience the beginning of the descending phase for the current bull trend. Okay, so in other words, we will see at the end of the summer, mid-summer, end of summer, if the current bull trend is over, will be over or not. Okay, in terms of cycles, what we see here is that the cycles are still up. Okay, so for us, we are still inside bull trend, but this is a very extremely important thing. The price is still out the upper band, okay, which actually is something exceptional because the 95% of the data should be included inside the two bands. In other words, this is something exceptional, not normal. At a certain point, we will see Bitcoin going down till hitting the lower band, at which is passing by right now at 23,000 US dollar. We project at 30,000 US dollar in the future. Okay, so 30,000 US dollar will be an area that will be retested for Bitcoin, certainly with 100% of chances over the next months, most probably at the end of the summer, and it will be a fast and furious movement. Okay, for now we are quite safe, yet keep in mind that we are going to retest this area between 25 and 30,000 US dollar later in the time. I do believe actually after mid-summer. Okay, now let's move on. That's nice. BitTorrent. BitTorrent been calling a fantastic trade for my patron. I've been suggesting them to buy at break of 0.015, and from here we have experienced a huge run up till 0.004. We had a 100% gain in one day. Right now, what we see here is that we see two in huge volumes and increasing volumes in association with two. This one is a long white candle with a huge tail. This one seems to be almost a reversible ball, but today is Friday. We still need to wait until Saturday and Sunday. Yet we don't see a spike on volume. We don't see a point control, which is actually a positive signal. In other words, I'm quite bullish on BitTorrent. We might see BitTorrent keep going up, but let's move on to the 4-hour chart in order to understand where we might see BitTorrent moving over the next days. So what we see here is that BitTorrent is moving horizontally after a very long white candle. When that happens, actually this is an accumulation period. Normally is an accumulation, not, let's not confuse with the distribution period. Okay, so when the price tends to move horizontally at the break of 0.003, we are definitely skyrocketing till and at least another 100% of gain for BitTorrent. So right now BitTorrent seems to be a great trade for us. The bull trend is not over yet, and actually I also can see here an ascending triangle information, okay, which is actually a bullish pattern for BitTorrent. So for those ones who are hodling BitTorrent, I would suggest to keep the position, not sell, still not selling. Let's see what we can retrieve for ANKR. ANKR, I've been actually calling a great trade. You can see it on my I published on YouTube video when I said actually at the break of 0.02 we should have been buying ANKR in a massive way, and what happened is that at the break of 0.02 we've experienced a huge run up till at least almost 0.14 US dollar. That one has been an amazing call because we've experienced a huge run up. Now we see a point of control, a clear point of control. We can see the difference when we analyze the chart, the 2 daily chart of ANKR with the BitTorrent one. We see a spike in volume, which means a volume which is much higher than previous one, with a huge long white candle. Okay, right now this is a clear reversal pattern. In other words, the strong hands have sold their positions, most probably, and they are going to buy ANKR later in the future. Right now they've sold to the retail traders, so right now it's time to sell ANKR and to forget ANKR for a few weeks. We will be back on ANKR here around 0.06 US dollar. So we will see definitely first of all a retrace till 0.08 with a rebound from there, but then another supporting area will be at 0.06 US dollar. But definitely right now we are getting rid of ANKR and we are waiting for a better entry point. Thank you guys.